Today we're going to prepare 3 different ways of making garlic to use in your cooking. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm Hillary. Welcome back to another episode of Cooking in My Bus with Hillary. I'm Hillary and this is my bus. Today we're going to prepare 3 different ways of making garlic for you to use in your cooking and in your kitchen, however you want. So first we have garlic confit, which my lovely friend Kristen turned me on to. It's basically garlic and oil, and the process of confit is you want to cook it low and slow for a while. So this takes typically between an hour to 2 hours. It's different, it depends on your oven, it depends on your altitude, electric, propane. Sometimes it takes me an hour, sometimes it takes me 2 hours. It all depends. But this I use in all the vegetables that I cook, to oil my pans for cooking meats and everything. It's just a good all-around oil. It's the only oil that I use when I cook. And this stuff, it only lasts you about a week. I go through it once a week, but it starts to smell kind of gross and like vinegar. You'll know it's turned. You can also freeze it. It freezes really well, and sometimes it might get a little solid in your fridge, but that's fine. Just leave it out and it'll melt up again. The next garlic we're going to prepare is fermented honey garlic. Thank you to my friend Jennifer for turning me on to this. Now this is just honey and garlic. Literally, it's so easy to make, and it's so good on many things. Put it on breads, cook with it, whatever you want. Bake with it. Possibilities are endless. It's garlic and honey. How can you go wrong? The last one we're going to make is roasted garlic. If only you could smell this jar. This also only lasts about a week. You'll notice that it starts to smell off. Don't use it. Also, you can freeze this too. Oh, it smells so good. All right. To make garlic confit, you only need a few things. You need garlic. Don't come at me. I buy the already peeled stuff because I'm lazy. You need some olive oil. I get it from Aldi. It's organic and it's super cheap. You need some type of jar to put it in when you're done, and you need some type of dish to bake it in. All right, let's get started. So here's all my garlic from one of the bags, and I'm going to chop off all these little brown bits because I don't want those. Oh, garlic down. Oh, garlic down again. Failing today. Cut those funky chunks off if you see them. Alright, then stick them all in your dish. And then you're left with this. Oh, there's a gross one. We lost 2 brave souls in this process. You were good soldiers, guys. Then you want to take your olive oil and you want to just cover it all. You don't want it really exposed, just enough to cover it. So you want just enough oil to cover it. I've already preheated my oven to 250. You want to cover your dish. I have a lid. I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. It can take up to 2. So we're going to check it at 1, and then at an hour and a half, and then again probably an hour and 45. So we'll see you back in a bit when this is ready. All right, guys, it's been an hour, so let's check on the garlic confit. Ooh, it's hot. It's bubbling in there. Let's check it. Steamy, steamy. It's not as soft yet, so I'm going to give it another 30 minutes. All right, it's been another 30 minutes, so let's check it again. Oh, so hot. It smells freaking amazing. That looks perfect. It's a light golden color. It's not burn. And there we go. Just sinks right into them. And now this is still boiling, so it's still really hot. So I'm going to set it on a burner and I'm going to let it cool for about an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half, and our garlic confit has cooled now, and now we just need to pour it into a jar. And this is always a mess, but it is how it is. I'm going to grab a spoon real quick. Looks delicious. It smells delicious. Alright, I'm going to cook with this later so you get to see how I use it. Now we're going to make some fermented honey garlic. It's delicious on vegetables, on meats, and it's really good for you. Honey and garlic are both really good for your immune system. So go ahead, if you feel a cold or a flu coming on, go ahead and eat one of the cloves, or go ahead and take a spoonful. I just cook with it all the time, so that's how we get it in our systems, and we don't get sick very often. So you're going to need, again, garlic. I'm going to cut this and I'm going to rinse it because I don't want anything to mess with the fermentation process. You're going to need a small mason jar, any size mason jar, it doesn't matter. And you need raw, unfiltered honey. I always, not just the stuff you get at the grocery store, I always buy local honey because it's so much better. So definitely find someone local. They sell it everywhere. You need raw, unfiltered honey because it's got the bacteria and the wild yeast in it that's going to help it ferment. All right, let's rinse this garlic. That was my second rinse. I just want to make sure that I get any weird stuff off of it, and then I'm going to take it over and I'm going to dry it with some paper towels. I'll see you in a minute. All right, that looks good. Now let's cut all those brown ends off again. What I like to do with the garlic honey is when I'm making sweet potatoes, you drizzle. So first I take the clove out, 1 or 2 cloves, and I'll chop it up. And then when they're almost done cooking on the stove, when I'm sauteing them, I'll throw in a drizzle of the honey garlic and the chopped up clove, and it makes them delicious and even sweeter and garlicky. It's like a sweet and savory. It's really good. And if you add it too soon, like at the beginning, the sugar will caramelize too fast and it'll burn. So do it at the end. All right, let's fill up our jar with honey. You want to make sure it's nice and clean and sterilized. Oop, I got too much. You don't want to fill it all the way. No, actually, this might work. No, I'm going to stop there. Ooh, that one got by. All right, so it's about 2/3 of the way full, a little bit more. That'll do. And then you're going to fill it the rest of the way up with your honey. Oh, it's going to make a mess. And it might take a few because it's got to settle, and it's really thick. So what you want to do is after you fill this with honey, you're going to airtight seal it. And then for the next, you're going to flip the jar over. And then for the next 7 days, every day, you're going to flip the jar and burp it because you'll start to notice bubbles forming. You just want to do a slight opening of it and you'll hear it go psst. And you want to do that once a day for 7 days. And then after that, just leave it in a cool, dark place for about a month and then it's ready. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready in just a second. Come on, honey. As you can see, it's not all the way down to the bottom yet. We need it to get down. Glug, glug, glug. All right, that looks about right. That's what we're looking for. All right, then you want to seal it up. You're going to flip it over and store it in a dark, cool place. Then the next day, you're going to come over. You're going to flip it back over, wait a minute until it runs down. You're going to lift it up and just slightly burp it real quick and then close it right back up again. And in about a month, you'll have some delicious honey garlic that looks like this. And see how liquidy the honey has become? This I made about 2 months ago. See, it made a little sizzle when it opened. And it's got bubbles in there. I don't know if you can see. See, it's real liquidy. It's not like honey anymore. But it's delicious. I recommend making it and eating it all of the time. I use it when I make bread. I use this honey when I make bread in my bread machine. It's delicious. Can't go wrong. Make some fermented honey garlic yourself. So now we're going to make roasted garlic. You need olive oil, a couple cloves of garlic, some aluminum foil, and of course a jar to put it in when you're done. Alright, so I've got 4 cloves of garlic. And first what we need to do is peel the outer layers off. Like that. I usually do this over the trash can because it makes this big mess, but whatever. You want them to look like that. So take them from this to this. Okay, now let's clean up this awful mess that we just made. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to cut like a third off the top here. So it looks like that. And it's okay if there's a little sprouting, that's fine. I haven't run into an issue with it. Alright, so now we're going to put these in some foil and drizzle some olive oil on them. You want to drizzle olive oil over the tops. I'm going to take another piece of foil and just put it on top. Like so. You kind of want a nice little seal around it. But you don't want it too tight. So look, there's my little boat. Isn't that cute? Alright, let's put it in the oven. So I preheated the oven to 400 degrees already. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, sorry. So I'm going to take my little garlic boat and we're going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And we'll check on it again. Alright, it's been half an hour. Let's check on our garlic. Oh, that's hot. Too fast. Oops. Doesn't quite look ready. It's still hard. So it's got to go back in. I'm going to put it back in probably for another 20 minutes and come back and check it. See you back soon. Alright, let's check it this last time. I think it's going to be ready. Wait for that heat to dissipate instead of going right in like I did every other time. That's perfect right there. Nice golden brown color. We're going to take it out and uncover it and let it cool before we squeeze it out. Beautiful. Alright, now that our garlic is all cooled, it's time to get the cloves out, which is pretty easy. So I take them out and put them in a bowl because I'm going to mash them before I put them in a jar because that's how I like it. Or you can just leave the cloves whole like this and they're squishy and they just spread and they're delicious. So you want to take the cloves out, just kind of squish the garlic out with your thumb. I have to peel a little bit of layer away. It is slightly time consuming, but it's delicious. So I'm going to put some of this in my vegetables that I'm making, which I forgot to do earlier. So this stuff is delicious. You can marinate your meat in it, vegetables with it, spread it on bread, on toast. You can do whatever you want. Cover some vegetables, meat, and cook them up. I mean, really the possibilities are endless. It's garlic. Like, what are you going to do? How can you go wrong? Also, does anybody else have the requisite Bus Life Walmart bowls? Because we do. There's another way that people do this where they just kind of squish it, but it becomes a big mess when I do that and it's harder to get out. So I just do my peel away method. I try to take off these big burnt pieces because they're just a little bitter and they don't spread very well. Like, you want the nice soft one like that. See how that's hard? Now, after doing this, your hands will never not smell like garlic. It's a side effect, but it's one that I'm willing to take. Try not to get any of the garlic husk, hull, whatever you want to call it in there, but it's kind of impossible sometimes. Alright, so that's what we're left with, and now we want to smush it. This is what I like to do. You can leave it in the full cloves like I said, but I just prefer to do this, and then I just grab a little scoop when I'm cooking. It's like mashed potatoes with garlic. Now when you do this, garlic gets a lighter flavor. It's not as strong and pungent, and it's not supposed to upset your stomach if garlic typically upsets your stomach. But I don't know, because it doesn't upset my stomach. Alright, then we got a little jar. So after cooking all that all day long, I'm starving because my bus smells amazing. So we're going to cut up some vegetables that I'm going to make for dinner tonight that we're going to use the garlic confi, and we're also going to use the roasted garlic. So let's start chopping. Looks delicious. So I'm going to use the garlic confit today to cook my vegetables in, and also I'm going to make these sausages because it's garlic party tonight, guys. So I'm going to make some sausages that I got here, but I'm also going to put a little oil on the pan for them too. Now I'm not going to use any of this garlic in here tonight, but you can use it whenever you like. When it heats up, it gets all nice and mushy, and you put it on bread. You can just eat it with a fork if you want. I put it in my vegetables also. Just put a little oil on there, and let's start cooking. Gonna add a little salt, a little pepper. It smells delicious, and it looks delicious. So let's let all that cook up. Alright, we'll see you guys back in a few minutes to check how it's doing. Now we're going to use some of the roasted garlic in the vegetables that I'm cooking. We got garlic confit and some roasted garlic. Nice little dollop. Maybe another one for fun. And then we'll mix that all in. and it's gonna get even mushier once it heats up in here. And I added it towards the end because I don't want it to burn, because it can burn easily. Alright, give those a few more minutes and then they're done. Alright, let's take a bite and see how it is. Hot, but delicious. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. Please like and subscribe.